Today, we're diving into a deep mythological mystery from the sacred Jagannath Purana. We're going to explore a story that asks a fascinating question. Why is one of the most revered idols in the world, an idol of God himself, seemingly unfinished? It's a puzzle that's literally carved in wood.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. If you've ever seen the sacred idols at the Jagannath temple in Puri, you know they're incredibly striking. They have these huge, captivating eyes, but no clearly defined hands or feet. So you have to ask, why would the Lord of the universe be worshipped in a form that, to our eyes, looks incomplete? Well, the answer, like all great legends, takes us way, way back. We're talking about the ancient Krita Yuga, and it all starts with the king whose devotion was just off the charts. And this was King Indradyumna. I mean, this guy wasn't just any ruler, he was the real deal. A master of 18 different branches of knowledge, and get this, he had performed over 1,000 Ashwamedha yagnas. These were massive horse sacrifices, the absolute ultimate display of power and piety. But even with all that, he had one single all-consuming desire.
He actually posed this very question to his royal priest. For him, this wasn't about more power or more wealth. His life's mission was to see Lord Vishnu in person with his own eyes. And that one profound wish is what set this whole epic quest in motion. Then one day, a wandering sage shows up at his court, and he tells the king about a secret form of Vishnu, a magnificent sapphire idol called Nila Madhav. It was being worshipped in total secrecy, deep in the forests of what we now call Odisha. This was it. This was the sign the king had been waiting for. So the king doesn't waste a second. He sends his most trusted priest, Vidyapati, on a secret mission. But it wasn't easy. Vidyapati couldn't find the deity, so he came up with a really clever plan. He befriended the local tribal chief, a man named Vishwavasu, who was the idol's secret keeper. After earning his trust, Vishwavasu finally agreed to show him, leading him blindfolded to a sacred cave. And what Vidyapati saw there, this breathtaking sapphire idol, it sent him racing back to the king. You can imagine, King Indradyumna is ecstatic. He gathers his entire army and marches to the forest, totally ready to build a magnificent temple for the Lord. But when they get to the sacred cave, it's empty. The idol was just gone. It had mysteriously disappeared. The king was absolutely heartbroken. His life's purpose seemed to be lost forever. But, this story is all about faith. And just when the king had given up all hope, his pure devotion was answered in a way that nobody could have possibly expected. So as the king is lamenting his fate, a divine voice from the heavens, what's known as an Akashvani, spoke directly to him. It didn't just offer comfort, it gave him a brand new set of instructions. And the message was a total game changer. The era of the sapphire idol was over. The voice declared that Lord Vishnu would now appear in a new form, not of stone, but of sacred wood, as Daru Brahma, the supreme being in a wooden form. To prove he was worthy of this new form, Indradyumna had to do something almost unimaginable. Another 1,000 grand horse sacrifices. Think about that. It was the ultimate testament to his unwavering faith, and all he could do was perform them and wait for a sign. And the sign did come. A massive, radiant log of wood, marked with the sacred symbols of Vishnu, the conch and the discus, was found floating in the ocean. This was it, the promised Daru Brahma. But there was a problem. No ordinary craftsman in the entire kingdom could even make a dent in it. Just as the king started to despair again, a mysterious old carpenter appeared, seemingly out of nowhere. He claimed he could carve the divine wood, but he had one absolute, non-negotiable condition. He would work for 15 days inside a locked room, and no one, not even the king, could open that door before he was done. If the promise was broken, he'd vanish. The desperate king had no choice but to agree. This right here is where the story hits its incredible climax. The king had already proved his devotion, right? But now, he was about to face the ultimate test of his patience. For days, the sounds of hammering and carving came from the workshop. But as the 15th day got closer, an eerie silence fell over the place. Days went by with no sound at all. The queen and the king started to get frantic with worry. Was the old man okay? Did he faint, or worse? Finally, overcome with anxiety, the king broke his solemn promise.
He ordered the doors to be opened, and inside, the mysterious carpenter was gone, vanished, just as he'd said he would. In the center of the room stood the three divine idols, Lord Jagannath, his brother Balabhadra, and his sister Subhadra, in the exact state we see them today, with those iconic large eyes, but with forms that appeared incomplete, without fully formed limbs.
The king was just filled with regret, believing he'd messed everything up and caused this imperfection. But once again, that divine voice spoke from the heavens. And it commanded him not to despair, because this was not a mistake. This very form, exactly as it was the Lord's chosen will, meant to be worshipped just like that for all time.
And to give this form the ultimate divine seal of approval, something truly incredible happened. Lord Brahma himself, the creator of the entire universe, personally came down from the heavens to consecrate the idols. This was the final proof. These forms weren't just intended, they were perfect.
And just like that, the mystery was solved. It wasn't a story of incompletion, but a story of divine will. And it gave rise to this vibrant, living tradition that has captivated millions of people for centuries.
So what's the lasting impact today? Well, this origin story is the very heartbeat of the Jagannath temple. It explains the core belief in Daru Brahma, the sacred wood. It gives meaning to the Mahaprasad, the divine food offerings. It's why the idols are seen as this powerful symbol of a god who is formless, beyond physical shape. And of course, it's the whole reason we have the world-famous Rath Yatra, the chariot festival, where these deities come out to reenact their sacred arrival for everyone to see. This leaves us with a final, really powerful thought to chew on. The story explains the forms as an act of interrupted creation, but philosophically, it asks us a much deeper question. Could it be that a form that looks unfinished to our limited mortal eyes is actually the most perfect way to represent a divine being who is truly infinite, formless, and completely beyond our human comprehension? It makes you wonder. Maybe what we see as incomplete is actually a window into what is truly complete.